Hello everybody, this is Miss Wright. I hope you're all keeping safe and doing lots of work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through the literacy for week 8, and it's on the lighthouse. Hopefully you guys have been able to access the video and have watched it a few times and done the activities that I set out for tasks 2, 3 and 4. So you should have drawn a story map of the short film and written some notes under each of the pictures, and then perhaps write some adjectives to go with each picture, and that will help you then to write your story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you an example of my story, and we're going to be looking at the features that you are going to need to include to make yours a brilliant story, even better than mine. So the first feature that we're going to be looking at, most importantly, are adjectives. Okay, so you need to use lots of description in your story so that when your audience hear your story, they're able to picture the story in their heads, because they're not going to be looking at the short film. So in my story, I have highlighted the adjectives that I have used in blue. So I'm going to read the first paragraph of my story. A thin, towering lighthouse stood on top of a cliff with a bustling town underneath. One cold, dark night, some people from the town were having a party, and they all cheered when the bright, shining light on the lighthouse came round. In the lighthouse lived a grumpy, old, miserable man who sat at a table all day writing letters to the town people to be quiet. So as you can see, I've put quite a few adjectives in just the first paragraph. So remember, you need to describe the setting, you need to set the scene for your first paragraph. So describing the lighthouse, you need to describe perhaps the main character, so the grumpy old man, and also describe what's happening. So what is he doing? So at the beginning of the clip, he's sitting at a table, so maybe perhaps describe what he's actually doing, what letters he's writing. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Remember, you can do your own, you can use your own adjectives, you can use your own sentence starters. It's entirely up to you. If you do get a little bit stuck, on the sheet that I've created, I've put some different sentence starters, different story openers, and some phrases and words to help you. But again, you don't have to use those. If you've got your own, then please do use them. Okay, so each paragraph, as you can see on the PowerPoint, I've put some adjectives. Remember not to put too many, otherwise it will sound a bit silly. So the second paragraph, I've got, all of a sudden, he heard a loud bang. So the old man ran up the twisted spiral stairs and took a look at the large, dusty bulb to see what was wrong. Quickly, he turned and saw a huge ship heading towards the big waves, crashing against the jagged rocks. So as you can see, there's some more adjectives in there. So like I said, using some interesting adjectives really helps the reader to picture your story in their head. Okay, so that's the first feature. Now, the second feature is different sentence starters. Again, I have put some on the sheet that I've created. So if you get a little bit stuck and you're not sure how to start your new paragraph, then please do feel free to use some of those examples. I've highlighted those in yellow. Okay, rather than using the word and, make it a little bit more interesting. Now, if I go on to the next slide, as you can see, my story's been set out into 4 paragraphs, okay? Now, to help you set your story into the paragraphs, next to it, I've put number 1. So your first paragraph needs to be setting the scene, okay, and then introducing the main character. So we know he lives in a lighthouse, so describing the lighthouse, what the weather's like outside, and what sort of character is he. Okay, so if you still need a little bit of help, remember, watch the clip again to give you some more ideas. Now, your second paragraph is the problem. Okay, so we know in the short film, the light stops working on the lighthouse and he rushes upstairs to go and check the bulb. Now, your third paragraph that you need to write about is the light bulb breaking. Okay, so describing how big the light bulb is, how does he manage to break it, and then how is he feeling when the light bulb does break. Okay, and then your final paragraph needs to kind of be like the resolution. Okay, so in the short clip, as you can see towards the end of the clip, the town people who he doesn't really like actually come to his rescue, and they have their lit lanterns to help guide the ship that is heading towards those rocks. Okay, so you've got 4 paragraphs. Again, your story can be as long or as short as you like, but just remember to include the key events from the clip. Okay, so you can use your own ideas, your own adjectives, just feel free. Or you can have a different ending, an alternative ending. It's entirely up to you. Now, once you're happy with your story, okay, remember to read your story out loud. Everybody makes mistakes. I've had to read mine out loud a few times because I've spotted a few mistakes, or I thought, actually, do you know what? That doesn't actually sound right. I might put a different adjective in there, or I might start with a different sentence starter. It always helps to read it out loud. Read it to any member of your family you've got at home. Okay. Now, once you're happy with that, then obviously you need to check for your capital letters and full stops. And as you can see on the sheet that I created, okay, your first task on the Monday was capital letters and full stops. So hopefully you guys should know where your full stops and capital letters should go. Remember, the main character, he needs to have a capital letter for his name if you've named your character. So yeah, just make sure you've got your correct punctuation. Once you've done that, feel free to upload your stories onto the different emails. I've put that at the bottom of the sheet as well. Okay, so if you are from Chadwell St Mary, okay, you'll put year 3 at csm.swesset.org, and if you're from Deanholm, again, year 3 at dpsswesset.org, and if you're from Stifford Clays, year 3 at scp.swesset.org. Okay, and I'm sure your teachers will love to read your stories. They'll be very, very happy, and then we can read them and comment back as well. So get writing. Hope to see you soon. Take care, everybody.